Welcome to T-Smack, home of the T-Smack. May I take your order?
Hey there, hi there, hello there. Welcome to an all-new episode of Talking Smack, where we talk superheroes, movies, animation, comics, and much, much more. I'm your host, Josh Scar, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Alex. Alex, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good because I believe in one thing and one thing only that you can do in the morning. We gotta disembark and then 3 seconds later run like hell. Right back to the boats. 5 or 6 times. It's an important storytelling beat, Josh. How are you?
I am doing well, and as implied, if you're noticing that we have our sexy morning voices, it's because it is morning. I had a late night, Alex had a late night, and we couldn't make the evening work, so we're making the early mornings work because my dog's a jerk and loves to wake me up at 5:30 in the morning, no matter what day of the week it is. She doesn't know what a weekend is. She's a dog.
My kitten loves one thing only to do in the mornings, and that is sing me the song of her people until I open the blinds for her. Well, sorry, the drapes for her. And then
The
she
dance of her
sits
people
there.
being cat. I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, dance,
I
dance,
dance,
and I
dance,
dance, dance,
dance,
dance.
dance, dance, dance. Exactly. That's just what she does. And it's, you know what? Bless her heart. She likes to greet the sun very loudly.
Or maybe it's the birds. I think the birds are what wake up my dog. My dog, she's great almost all day, but like in the early morning when the birds start chirping, she's like, "I gotta get out there. There's something that needs my attention." Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. The only time she is not out there is like when it's raining or when it's really snowy, but like she loves the cold. She's part husky, so like she's just
Oh,
like, "Yeah, this is my environment."
is she one of those cool husky dogs that it's like 6 feet of snow. They bury themselves in there. You go to check on them, and they're like, "Please leave me alone. I'm finally home."
No, she doesn't have the thick coat. Well, her coat is pretty thick, but, like, it's shorter. It's not as fluffy as an actual she's a pit bull husky mix, so she's got, like, the husky texture, but the pit bull length.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
It's not quite cut out for winter, but she convinces herself seemingly that she's fine. She's like, "No, it's my heritage, damn it."
It's like ignore the fact that I'm freezing. It's fine. It's fine. I'm shivering because I'm happy. It's because I'm happy. I swear. I promise.
Pretty
I
much.
promise. Leave me alone. Can you give me a heating pad? Just leave me out of here.
Just get one of those heating lamps that they use at restaurants where people can eat outside no matter what time of year it is, because they wanna show off how fancy they are.
Exactly. That's the most important thing for her to do.
Yeah, I'll spend $250 plus fuel costs to make sure you can stay outside, Bonnie, it's fine.
You make her life wonderful. You got her. You make her happy. That's important.
Yeah, we we adopted her, so now it's our responsibility to continue to make her life continually more happy. That's the joy of pet life.
Exactly. And you know what? If I was being fed flowers by Charlize Theron and told I was happy, I would be happy too.
She's another one of those actresses that like, whoever her plastic surgeon is, everyone should just go to that person. Like, how are some of these other plastic surgeons still getting work? Like, poor Mandy Moore. I don't wanna bring that up, but, like, how? Why? She doesn't look like her anymore.
Gotta say the Christopher Walken way. Why? How?
Why? How?
What are you
Cowbell.
doing to your face?
You know, I see you, and you don't look quite like yourself. When she shows up in the Tangled live action movie with her cameo as, like, the queen and Zachary Levi as the king, and Zachary Levi's still gonna look like himself because he's an ageless man-child, and then Mandy
Yep.
Moore doesn't look like herself anymore, and everyone's gonna be like, "Who is that?" And everyone's gonna feel bad. Like, I feel bad just making that joke, but it's sadly kind of sort of gonna be true.
Well, you got to do it in the manner. You can be like, "Who is that? They look for me. I think I know." And then you start whispering back and forth to each other, like, Was that? I haven't seen them in a few years. That's
And then
possible, right?"
everyone gets sad. Like, "Oh,
Oh,
Mandy." Mandy.
Then you
Maybe I'll
start
have to
singing Amanda
listen.
by Chicago.
I was gonna go Barry Manilow with Mandy.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. That's true.
It's early. I'll cut you some slack.
Thank
People
you.
who won't cut you some slack, though, those are our buddies over at the Game Club Pod. We're going to hear from Joey, Tim, and Alex. And when we come back, we are going to talk the Odyssey. We'll be right back.
Welcome to my friendly game club, where everyone is welcome. The podcast where we share, we play, we run and sing. No, we don't run, but we do sing.
Hey kids, are you looking for a new favourite fortnightly video game review podcast?
Then boy howdy have we got the show for you.
We take a different game every 2 weeks and we review them just like a book club.
You can find us on all good podcasting platforms.
And some of the sketchy ones too.
Simply search for the Game Club podcast and join the club today.
I think we need to get a new promo from them because I don't think Game Club Pod is bi-weekly anymore. And also, we sent them like the best promo ever.
Yeah.
So they kind of owe us one. So Game Club Pod, 4 weeks plus every Wednesday, some of the best indie podcasting stuff you'll get, but maybe not specifically Game Club Pod stuff. It's they cycle through a lot. So maybe I'm just tired and I'm misremembering. I plead the fifth and misremembering. So this is going to be an interesting episode because like I didn't get drunk last night. I didn't get home until like close to midnight. I don't think I got to bed until after midnight. And again, dog woke me up at 5 a.m. So I'm trying. I've got my Lambeau Field mug full of caffeinated soda. And got my water, got my microphone. We are here to talk about the Odyssey, the highly anticipated Christopher Nolan film, surprisingly rated R. Like I didn't know that it was rated R. But then they drop a few F-bombs fairly early on. It's like, oh, okay. Because it's still pretty bloodless.
We get a little bit of nudity.
There's like barely a boob. There's not even nip.
Hey. When this comes out in 4K, I will freeze frame it and show you that we briefly saw Anne Hathaway's.
I mean, you could just go back 20 years and watch she was in some movie where she was
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, no, not Brokeback Mountain. There's another movie where she was like a rageful teenager or college student, and she like gets
Havoc.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I just know I've seen the clips on the internet where like, oh, hey, you looked up Anne Hathaway's IMDb credits. The algorithm says you now want to see a clip from this movie where she showed boob. Like, I mean, you're not wrong, but like, it's weird that you're forcing this on me.
I got the weirdest trailers before seeing this movie. Oh crap! I don't remember what the first one was, but I was just like, "That's not a trailer I've seen before." And okay, and then I got a trailer with Jessica Chastain called Other Mommy.
No, thank you. I don't want that one. Is Other Mother a movie already? Like, I understand they're trying to play up the fact that the young girl is the point of view character, but like, Other Mommy just sounds stupid.
It does, and the way that the title screen came up with OTHER, and then I thought they were going to spell like mother, like put other on there, and then just add an M, but it was mommy. So I was like, I'm kind of intrigued by it, just because I really liked the beginning portion of the trailer because it shows this little girl coming into a kitchen, and then like her mom. What I thought was maybe like just the way the interaction just seemed like maybe she was a babysitter or something. But she's like, "Oh, you don't need to eat candy. No, ice cream for lunch. Here, let me make you your favorite thing." And then the way she just stands there and just starts crying while talking to the daughter. I was like, "Oh, is this kind of like a companion situation? Is this kind of like obsession style body horror thing?" And then the little girl says, "You're not supposed to leave my room." Freaked me the hell out. And then it was this nice twist where there apparently are two Jessica Chastains. One is her mother that only stays in her room, and the other is the actual mother. And then the horror twist from there of trying to figure out which one's which. I think that's actually pretty freaking interesting.
It's not an uninteresting premise. It's the title is just not good. Like I have to
No.
assume that there is another movie out there called Other Mother, and they just couldn't make that work. But Other Mommy just did someone get drunk and they're just like, Other Mommy. That's the name of the movie.
Apparently, unfortunately, yes, there is actually another movie called The Other Mother.
When was that released?
5-6 years ago.
That's
So,
enough
yeah,
time. No one saw that movie.
I mean, it's true. But yeah, it could be really good. But I was just, and then it cuts to like the the theater promo stuff, and then the movie starts. I was like, what kind of movie is this? What kind of crap is that? Like that's
You
what you're
didn't get
leaving
the
us
Dog
with?
Stars as the final trailer before the highly anticipated blockbuster movie, The Odyssey?
Nope.
Like, I don't even know what the hell the Dog Stars is. Like, I know it's apparently based off a book and directed by Ridley Scott, but like the trailers do absolutely nothing to make me understand what the stakes are of this movie. And like that's all you need in a trailer is to make me understand the stakes or at least the emotional beats of it, which like this is trying to do, but it's like, what were you doing when the world ended? Your version of the world ending is not what I think the world ending is going to be, and it's not interesting that it's just like somehow in the last 10 years like stadiums got destroyed, infrastructure got destroyed, this guy knows how to fly a plane, his wife died. That's all you really need to know. What that's not a premise.
So it's Jacob Elordi.
Lordy,
Yeah, Elordi.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. Rumored that also Wuthering Heights apparently earlier this year. Josh Brolin, Margaret Qualley, Allison Janney, Guy Pearce, Benedict Wong. Okay, it sounds like a fun
It's
cast.
got a stacked cast, but like I don't know what the hell this movie is.
It's coming out August 26th.
Yeah, it's releasing at the end of the summer. It's getting like with a cast like that, it's getting buried at the end of the summer.
110 million movie based off of a book. After a devastating flu pandemic that eradicated humanity, the film centers on Higg, a former civilian pilot, and Bangley, Josh Brolin, a hardened former Marine, as they confront outside threats and hold on to the possibility of a better life beyond where they currently. That's okay. So any post-apocalyptic film.
So you know this is a bad movie because you're never a former Marine unless you're dishonorably discharged. So unless they cover that, you're the whole thing with Marines. The movie did their research if they call them a former Marine or if they call them a retired Marine. Because if they're a retired Marine, it means they served and they did their thing. If they're a former Marine, it means the person who wrote that thing is stupid and doesn't know their shit. I only know this because I married into a family with several Marines, and they always make a point of anytime someone says former Marine, they're like, blah, 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 blah.
Do they also remind you constantly the Marines were formed before the America was formed?
They do like that fact as well. Yes.
I mean, technically, all the most military services were formed because America formed after the Revolution. But that's just a picky point. That's just a little point. It's a
picking
little thing.
straws, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. So the book synopsis is a little bit better. Apparently, a mysterious radio transmission comes through, and so they fly to go find it, hoping that there are survivors elsewhere.
I've seen that movie though. Like, I can't remember the name of it because, like, obviously it's not interesting. Maybe that's why they're burying this film.
$110 million.
It comes out the same week as Coyote versus Acme, I think.
Yes. That's going to be interesting to see which one wins that battle.
I mean, Coyote versus Acme getting released in theaters is a battle won unto itself.
Mm-hmm. It is a cinematic triumph. We need to support that thing like we supported Sonic when they did the redesign.
Seriously,
we need to support that film. Yeah, we need 3 Coyote versus Acme films, and I can pitch them to you right now. You got Coyote versus Acme. Let's just say he loses that. If he wins or loses, doesn't matter. The second movie is the appellate court, and then the third one, Supreme Court battle. It's Coyote versus Acme goes to Washington. It's like what is it, that Jimmy Stewart
Legally
film?
Blonde?
Like, Legally Blonde, or that Jimmy Stewart one, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. We got the full thing going out here. I can plot it out the next 3 films. We got to just release them every 2 years, just like they do Sonic. So you got the next one in 2028. You got the Supreme Court one in 2030. And depending on that one goes, if that one does well, 2032, the World Supreme Court. We got to take this thing. I'm talking 4 movies. We have to support this film. Everybody out there, you get it out there. I want Acme versus Coyote, a 3-to-1 ratio over Dogstar. Now, if Dogstar earns 10 million, that means Acme versus Coyote is 30. That's fine. But if Dogstar somehow crawls to 25, we got to hit this 75. And I'm talking 3x every place it is at. So if it's 20 million in the US, that's 60 million US. And then worldwide, we got to get like 180. We got to 3x this thing. Coyote versus Acme has got to crawl up that board. We're talking a $700 million film. I want franchises.
We're supposed to be talking the Odyssey. I think either Alex is really padding for time, or we're both just really tired and we can't focus on this really dense movie.
I'm a little loopy.
Yeah. I do want to say, as we start this, either our IMAX needs to recalibrate its sound system, because I saw Supergirl in IMAX and I've seen this in IMAX. So not even a full month apart. I'm willing to admit maybe I'm getting too old. Maybe I just need to retire from IMAX. It is too damn loud.
Oh,
there are moments in Supergirl, there were moments in the Odyssey where it just became screeching. Like there was no sound mix. It was just noise. Like a student film of just like, this is my embodiment of empathy. And it's just like, it is just noise. I don't even know. And you can tell I'm morning drunk and tired, because I normally wouldn't make noises like that. We're just going to jump into spoilers. We've been going for almost 30 minutes at this point. I don't want to do too much editing. When the Cyclops started speaking, did you understand it in your showing?
Oh, okay. So I was going to let you know. No, this is Christopher Nolan. This is why I do not watch Christopher Nolan films in theaters if I can, because he is notoriously horrible for his sound mixing. He likes to have the dialogue underneath the music, because he believes that everybody should be watching this film the way he intended. And the one of the 40 theaters that has this that has the proper IMAX formatting, and you need a 7.55 theater system at home where you can hear it perfectly. Because I went to the Beloit theaters to watch this, and no, I had no idea what the hell he was saying. There was 3 or 4 points during this movie where I had literally no clue what they were talking about on screen, because of the sound balance was terrible. Like, I get you're talking on a beach, but why are the waves underneath it? And nobody's shouting at each other hearing it. I just can't hear you. And so when the giant was talking, Cyclops was talking, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, should we try to communicate with it? And he's like, well, I think we're past that point. And they did not. And I couldn't understand it. And then later on, they're like, he was crying for Poseidon. I was like, I didn't hear Poseidon in that. All I heard was,
yeah, it was it was just gibberish. Like I heard it mumbling or garbling or something, but yeah, I couldn't understand a damn word it said, because like between the men yelling, the screeching of the Cyclops was just ear piercing, which like maybe that's the intent with the IMAX. I remember sitting in the start of the movie, and you have the waves crashing, and you could feel it in your ribs, and you're like, it's like vibrating your entire seat. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I love about IMAX. Like you can literally feel it. And like I think they say like sound you can feel, and I'm like, yeah, like that's what I'm here for. But then like it starts piercing your ears, and like it makes my tinnitus so much worse. And I'm just like, no, this isn't what I want.
yeah, it's not that. Because the Beloit Theater, they're classic cinemas, and they have really high-end sound systems as well, great balance. And I was just like, some parts were just loud, and I was like I get this little weird tinging in my right ear from just certain pitches. And I covered my ear a few times, and then other times I'm just like, I just can't hear what the hell is being said. The film to me is aggressively fine. I wasn't excited about seeing it per se. I was just I've never really been a Christopher Nolan fan. For some reason, his films just leave me cool. Like I'm impressed by what's being shown on screen. I know there's technical things happening that should be happening. I like that in The Dark Knight they flipped a 18-wheeler over for a scene. That's really cool. Really like it. The Dark Knight Rises, they dangled like an airplane in the sky to do those shots. That's really cool. Really dig it. Great. Oppenheimer, apparently they got permission. Nukes in place. Really excited about that. But I always feel watching them that there's just some type of human touch missing, and I don't know what it is. Like I never feel like my emotions are properly played with. I don't
I
know if
can
that's like a
agree. I can
yeah.
agree with that wholeheartedly. I think Nolan's Nolan's dedication to the art and craft of filmmaking is what makes him an engaging auteur. It's not necessarily his dedication to storytelling. Nolan is creating his own filmmaking industry essentially. Like the way he's dedicated himself to IMAX, they created like so many different cameras so he can film his movies the way he wants to with IMAX cameras. This film is the first film to be made entirely using IMAX cameras, and they filmed it on 70 millimeter IMAX film. I
Mhm.
saw a video earlier this morning where like you got to see the inside of a projection room with a full setup for the IMAX 70 millimeter, and it's enormous. Like it's bigger than my living room. It's just a
Yeah.
massive room, and like the big thing to me is that it was put on film. Like saying it was made on 70 millimeter film is not like jargon. It's literal film that they're still rolling through a reel and it's being projected onto a screen. It's not just a thing that they're gonna patch, like any other digitally filmed thing that's out there right now.
Yeah, and I think
It's
it's cool. His camera people, because they have now this giant bubble they put around the cameras so they can actually capture the actor speaking rather than just ADR and everything. They have this giant bubble they put around the cameras to dim the noise so they can record it. And they have to they came up with basically they trained them like NASCAR or Formula One drivers to when the film runs out, instead of taking like 15 minutes to reset up, they deflate, move, boom, slap everything else. So there's like a 2-minute delay, and they're like, okay, back to acting.
it is a super cool process where I saw an interview with one of Christopher Nolan's camera operators where apparently he just got so good at swapping out the film canisters or whatever it is that they're filming on. Because of the other limitation of filming with these IMAX 70 millimeter cameras is you can only film for 3 minutes at a time. So like there's really difficult opportunities to or really difficult filming restrictions made on there because I guess like Tom Holland was getting really self-conscious at certain points because they had to like start continuously be like cut, hold on, and he's just like what's going on, why are they continuing to cut these scenes? But the dude, the camera operator, like, apparently he got so good at swapping out the film canisters or whatever it is that, like, they literally were just like, "Hold," and then he just would do a quick swap, and then they go, "Action." It was just that quick that he was able to swap them out, which apparently is not a normal thing.
I appreciate the dedication to the craft, and like it's really impressive. Like it's like Tom Cruise. I appreciate he's dangling off of these buildings, but with Nolan, there's just some kind of
There's a heart
heart.
missing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't know what it is.
it's part of the storytelling, like, everyone is it's almost like every one of his characters that are in his movies anymore are all just to coin the frame from Liam in and I have some notes. It's almost like everyone is just a Paddington, where everyone in a Nolan film is a static character. Like there's no real character progression. They just progress through the story that's been laid out, and by the end of it, there's some kind of conclusion and climax to the story that's been told. But like no one has really grown. I there are some changes to the source material with this that I really appreciate. And like obviously it's super condensed. Like I think removing the machinations of the gods and like Athena continuing to like bargain with Zeus and being like, "Hey, let me help Odysseus this way. Let me try and do something here to help Odysseus." So like all of those things, I think all of those exclusions are fine. Focusing it completely on Odysseus and Telemachus mostly is a really good thing, and it makes it a much more palatable film. The main changes I really appreciate is that Odysseus in this film is a much more dutiful husband and father. He is continually trying to get home, and like his motivation is to get back to his family, get back to Ithaca. In the book, he's like, "Ah, man, Circe, you turn my men into pigs and you turn them back. I guess I'll hang out and we'll bang for a year. Oh, hey, Calypso, we're gonna hang out, eat some lotus leaf with me and my men, and we're gonna bang for 7 years." Like, and
Mhm.
then he comes back and he like gaslights Penelope, and he's like, "Hey, have you taken a suitor? What's going on here?" And like throughout the movie, he is completely faithful, and he has faith that his wife has been faithful. And I like that change because it changes the narrative a little bit more, especially once you get to the theme that they spell out for you, where the whole thing in with this one is that or this interpretation is that Odysseus essentially broke the world with Troy because he broke Zeus's law, and they used the gods to trick the Trojans into being able to sack them, and then just like the rage that they unleashed upon Troy upon sieging the walls, it literally broke the world. And Odysseus, his penance is not being able to get home until he is ready and willing to accept his fate after he gets home and he settles things. And I thought that was it was actually, I found it pretty powerful because it is really omnipresent right now, where a lot of people, myself included, are feeling like we have kind of just somehow broken the world and we need to figure out a way to fix it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Nolan is going to have like a moral theme trilogy here because Oppenheimer ends with Oppenheimer wondering, did he break the world? He's sitting there wondering, I brought into fruition this beast of a weapon. What now? What have I wrought thing? I really do appreciate some of the changes that not Oppenheimer, that the Odyssey did. I really, like you said, reframing Odysseus's journey was really, really well done. I like that. And I love the moral of the story because throughout the movie, they're talking about the sea peoples, which were a real group that nobody knows where they came from. Nobody knows what would happen with them, but they were this nomadic group that would just lay siege to your coastal city, and then once they were able to break through, they would pillage and they would leave. And it was happening during the Bronze Age collapse, and nobody knows who they are. They have some ideas, they have some thoughts, and it's always been this great mystery because throughout the Mediterranean coast, they hit basically everybody over several years. And so it is an ancient mystery. Who the heck were the sea people? And I like that they were talking about them. I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That's like a little, I mean, it's one of those mystery things. And throughout the course of the film, Odysseus realizes that he is the sea people. It is his people landing, pillaging, raiding. Um, that to Troy, they were the sea people. They came from the sea. They lay siege to them, and then they sacked them and left. And then as he began his journey, what is it? He rarely he and his group rarely come in peace. They kind of land. They have all their armor and weapons on, and they want food. They want this. They don't have much to trade with, if anything. Seems like they didn't take anything with their pillaging
Yeah,
for
they always
Troy.
invoke the law of
Zeus's
Zeus, I
law.
think is
Yeah.
what they phrase Zeus's law, yeah. They're like, "You're gonna feed us because that's Zeus's law." Like, they
Uh-huh.
don't offer trade, or, like, if they do offer trade, it's very little in return. They're just like, "Hey, you're a host. We're guests. You should be feeding us." And
Yeah, and I like that. And his penance must at the end of the film is that he goes into exile. I thought that was a good turn. I really, really actually loved that. And I love that Penelope and him seem to have bonded completely with that their bond is strong and there's really no worry that she has forsaken him or he's forsaken her. My biggest issue is that Telemachus is just a bitch. I hated Tom Holland in this role. Like, I don't know what his journey was. He said, I think this is his last time that he's going to play like a young man or something like that. And some of the interviews, I'm like, dude, you're not young anymore, man. You're 30. You look 30. And to be fair, he's playing age appropriate because it looks like he was about 7 or 8 when Odysseus left. And it's been like, they say it's been about 20 years since he's been gone. Yes, he's right. But I'm pretty sure in Greek society, you weren't supposed to be 30 before you came of age. I'm pretty sure it was like 20.
Ricky and I were joking about that too,
Yeah.
like where he's like, he he keeps talking about, or he mentions a couple of times, like, I'll be king or I'll ascend. And Penelope's like, how do you plan on doing that? Because like there is some Oedipus complex stuff in the Odyssey with Telemachus. They don't, if I remember, it doesn't get too far, but that could just be me blocking out bad things from ancient Greek storytelling. But in this one, like, how old is coming of age with you, Tom Holland? Because you have a mortgage, like that much is clear. You said he's 20, and at the youngest, he was probably somewhere between 2 and 4. So he's at least 24 in this film. And what is coming of age in this society? It's probably like 15 or 16 at the oldest in this era. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to say other than like, don't think about it too hard in terms of what the actual coming of age era is back in the actual ancient Greek times.
My issue is with his storyline is that I get it. If he breaks Zeus's law by actually getting into a fight with the suitors, despite them like literally kicking the dog, beating up blind people, pushing and shoving him around and stuff like that, and he starts a fight that they then get to ransack and pillage and claim, the throne or whatever. That's fine. I get that. But what is his actual journey? Because we spent all this time on him sucking at fighting, really, really badly, being terrible at fighting. Well, not terrible, just terrible against his mentor.
In a real fight, he wouldn't win.
Right. And then seemingly he's too focused on perfect defense and not the give and take of fighting. I'm like, okay. But the end of the film, he like doesn't learn any of the lessons.
He learns that he got stabbed in the gut, and then he can go slice Logan Marshall Green's neck after he opens up his gut again.
Yeah, because I was expecting him to like learn the lesson that you have to offer something, that you have to like feint and stuff. And instead, he just gets jammed to the ground and injured. And then after that, his rage comes through and he jumps on the guy's back.
He
and
pulls the move that his mentor taught him, but it has no real resonance because they don't make a point of him being like, oh, I need to open up my gut, like what John Leguizamo taught me, because he's already been stabbed in the gut.
Yeah.
We just like, if you don't recognize the move because it happens so quickly, like it's not a payoff other than like you recognize the fact that he does do the throat slit that he did. He had feigned from doing in his his sparring session with his mentor named Mentor. It's really strange, but
I do
one
like
of the
his
things
mentor's name is Mentor.
Just so you understand, his name is Mentor. One of the things I really loved about this movie, though, it's a key plot detail, but it's a really good production design, is the stringing of the bow, and how like
Yes.
Odysseus, Matt Damon, he's the only person who can string this bow, this hunting bow. He knows how it's made and how he can bend it to his will. And every time he strings it, he gives it a pluck. And it's just this really, when he plucks it, it's this really awesome, just like bass note that comes out of it, which we should mention the score is Ludwig Göransson. famously of The Mandalorian, Sinners. He'll probably get another Academy Award nomination for this one, especially considering, I guess, Christopher Nolan like forced him to use only instruments that were known in ancient Greece. Like he didn't get a like 95, 96, 250 piece orchestra. He was only given like these are the instruments of the time. You get gongs, you get what we assume is a lyre, and a few other things, but like no orchestra whatsoever for you. And Ludwig Göransson is like, Jawohl! I don't know what I'm gonna cut that. I don't know if he's German.
I believe he's Swiss, but that's fine.
Okay. I mean, close enough. They speak German.
Oh, Swedish. Okay. Oh, okay. So he would actually send Borchen.
Oh, bark. Pluck at the strings.
Plus Sesame Street. He's also a chef. he was cooking in that studio.
Today we make the roasted chicken. Today we make the apple pie. Port. I love the Swedish Chef. I think he's my favorite Muppet. There's one episode or like short on YouTube where he's making chicken or something, and the vegetables are like giving him a hard time, so he like busts out a bazooka. He's just like, "Oh, time for the bazooka!" Ludwig Göransson just says, "Yes, sir, Christopher Nolan. Let's make some weird shit with these limited instruments that we have, this restraint that we're putting on ourselves." Which again, Christopher Nolan, if nothing else, loves to challenge himself in filmmaking. I think part of the beauty of this film, which everything on screen looks amazing. The story, not so much. The theme, the moral that they impart at the end is like, yeah, okay, I get it. Could have like maybe had a few more callbacks or payoffs and things, but you do you, Christopher Nolan. But like the technical mastery of this film and just what Christopher Nolan puts himself through, like you can tell they're on a boat, even if they're in I lost my train of thought. Film's beautiful
On screen.
and I think because it is put on film, I think there is still an aesthetic out there with the fact that it was put on film. You can still see, and like Christopher Nolan's like dedication to practical. That's where I was going. His dedication to doing things practically, like even the Cyclops, even though it is a digital character, they use they used a giant marionette to your frame of reference. They released production stills for the Cyclops, and it's just it's almost like a 1-to-1 recreation of the costume that they put the guy in, or they mocapped whatever. But it's just a giant marionette puppet that they moved around so that the actors can like respond to the movements and like where he's supposed to be. It's things like that that really just help create movie magic. The story is kind of the biggest part of it. You resonate more with the way the story unfolds, which, like, as we've said, not necessarily Christopher Nolan's bread and butter. You also respond, at least people like us in our early mid 40s, we are also still really interested in the craft. And that's where I think Christopher Nolan truly shines, is the fact that he films on location. He builds sets. He builds pieces. Like, I believe the ship that they're using is a Norwegian recreation of like the largest Viking ship that they were able to like actually have. They just took it, added some flair to it to make it a little more Greek, and like the guys on the ship were actually rowing. They weren't just like miming it. They learned how to row, and I guess there's a whole thing where
most of the people rowing were actual sailors that have rowed that boat before.
Yeah, and like the actors still went through like rowing classes as well. Like the people who were cast as the actual actors for the crew. So like they learned that you lose grip on that oar, you're gonna go flying. Like you might go flying overboard. You're gonna break a rib. They learned a lot about what it means to move these ships around in the sea. And you don't there's not a big blockbuster movie that would dedicate themselves to something like that. And I think that's where a big part of the appreciation for Christopher Nolan comes into effect, is because he will go and like recreate a nuclear bomb and make the largest on-screen explosion ever recorded. He will go and like build a room that will tumble so that it's not just a guy on strings in a room full of green wallpaper. He goes that extra step to help the immersion of the story, because there are moments in this movie where you're on that boat and you can see and tell that it is crashing on these waves, which again, like maybe it's on a soundstage where it's probably on a soundstage where they're recreating a storm, but it still has that effect of we're on water. It's what Justin and I talked about in our Movie Wire episode where we talked about Moana. It's a movie set largely on the sea. You never feel like you're on the sea because it's all just computer generated. Whereas in the Odyssey, you are in it with these people. You are on the sea with these people. And there are moments where I was like, I mean, they could have visually created that in a computer, but like it looks real. And I'm gonna convince myself that it's real because it's Christopher Nolan, so it very well could be. And I think that's where like so much of the Christopher Nolan magic happens, is because he does blend his visual effects with practical effects so well.
Like I really enjoyed seeing this ship work. I'm glad to see that they were actually, filming on ocean sides, that they were actually rowing out there. There was so much I liked, but to me, the cinematography failed in some aspects because I like and appreciate that they were filming with, lanterns and torches and cauldron thingies. But give me a little more fucking light, because to me, I wanted a little more separation between the flashback war scenes and his journey when they're in when Telemask is on his journey and when they're in Ithaca. Because Anne Hathaway is wearing what I assume are gorgeous clothes, but I can't tell because they're filmed in such dim light half the time that I'm like, okay, that's a green dress. I bet you when they show those costumes out, you get the at the premieres and they have like the lines of costumes. I'm like, that's probably going to be gorgeous with this beautiful threading and these other details. And like when Black Panther talking about how the costume is for that, they wove not adamantine. What is the vibranium?
Yeah.
Vibranium. Yeah, they
Vibranium.
wove like vibranium strands into the different textures, and every clan has like a different symbol and style of interweaving that, and you can see that on screen. Wakanda looks beautiful. I wanted a little bit more of that because to me, the first time that I actually saw like really was impressed by what I was seeing on screen in terms of just the actual costuming of people wandering around was when Telemascus makes it to Magnamon. John
Agamemnon.
Barenthal. Yeah, Megamemon. Yeah, it makes it to Punisher's house. And I was like, I was seeing the other people and like they had more light, they had more exposure. You could see stuff. I wasn't particularly impressed by their odd hunting attire when they're out just casually shooting pheasants, but that's fine. But at least I could see the costuming. I wanted a little more color. Yes.
They wanted to show us how good they were at shooting pheasants because that was not going to pay off later when they needed bows and arrows and other things.
No, because he never picks up another bow again. And not only good at shooting pheasants, they're good at shooting pheasants that are near the heads of people picking like olives. I thought that was a weird detail. Like, we're just going to be killing them while our servants are picking
Gonna
olives
kill these
off
sky
trees.
rats infesting our olive grove.
That's the only thing I really wish I would have seen more of. I would have liked to have seen more color because as I told my wife when I got home, she's like, "What do you think about it?" I'm like, I felt like I was watching a movie told by somebody who's retelling me a story and adding like, "Oh, let me go back and tell you about this part. I forgot about this." And so I really wasn't enjoying what I was being presented with. Like, I liked many, many aspects of it, but I wish there was just more color. I wish there was more vibrancy to some of the moments when like they're sacking Troy. I loved that because it's dark, it's at night, you're seeing the flash of shadows, you're seeing the shadows of people who are doing things. It's chaotic and messy, and you're really living through this raid of what it would be like to sack a city. But when it's at the places that supposedly are at peace, I want to see the vibrancy. I want to see more color. I want to be able to see the textures of their outfits.
John Bernthal played Menelaus. I'm sorry. Agamemnon was
Yeah.
played by Benny Safdie, who many would remember as the voice of Bowser Jr. in the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Oh yeah, that's what I remember him from.
What a year for Benny Safdie. Like he's Bowser Jr. and he's Agamemnon. And like when Agamemnon
Yep.
spoke in the afterlife in Hades, or when they're on like the borders of Hades, he had like a higher toned voice than I anticipated them giving him. Like I expected him to be like modulated and being like, Odysseus, do not go home expecting a royal welcome. Go home a stranger. Like I expect him to be like much more like, oh, bass. But instead he was like more tenor, not tenor, but like he was more mid-range.
Yeah.
For someone being so like presented as intimidating and just like, oh my God, he's just kind of like, hey, Odysseus, what's going on, man?
By the way, I loved anytime Agamemnon was on screen because he like glides into any frame he's in. Like they didn't allow him to walk. He was just like on rollers into different scenes. I loved that. It was just like, listen,
I mean, it worked really well in the afterlife.
Oh yeah, that worked great. Where they're just rolling him forward and everyone's kind of like shuffling out of the way. I loved that. And I loved that picture of the gates of Troy being opened and he's just there head and shoulders above everyone else, flanked by all these people just running into the city, and he just slowly does like the Vader walk in. That was awesome. I was like, yeah, that was awesome.
That was some of the best like visual storytelling that they did, especially because of the narration from Odysseus in that moment where he's talking again about like, when I opened up those gates, I let 10 years of rage in, and like you could feel it.
You could
like
feel
it was palpable. And like bravo to the cinematographer, the lighting, everything in that moment, because like yeah, you feel it.
And just before that, when he actually mounts the wall and he grabs the lantern, he chucks it over the side to confirm that the horde is waiting outside the gates, and you just see, and it smashes, and you see in the flash of light, you see all of them just there waiting.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Oh, so many good shots.
This movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It could have been 2 hours and 42 minutes. We did not need 3 minutes of, oh man, will they open up the gates?
Yeah, that's a good point. The detail,
the stress of them getting arrows shot at them and like getting the gates open. Like they even show like the locking mechanism as the logs or the boards get pulled further and further apart. And like you see like the deadline of where those are. I'm like, we know they get in. Why are we making this like a tense moment?
That was a good point because I was distracted by something else. I was like, okay, so how do the gates open? Oh, the board. Okay, so you got these giant boards across. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Gates have boards. I was wondering if there was like the trellis system or something like that. No, there's not. Like, okay. And then I was looking at it, and then when they flash back to him, like, oh, the hinges are on the hinges are actually on the boards and they're in the middle. So there's this block there. Oh, so they got to get the
cool design detail.
Yeah, loved it. I was like, that's cool. But I was like, we know the gate's already open, man. That could have been a little shorter because the panic of Matt Damon just hanging out there, like picking shots at people. And then, of course, you see somebody get
Is
one of his
Odysseus going to survive? Are the Greeks going to get into Troy? Oh, my God. Like
yeah,
that part was dragged out a little too long. Like I was just like, it's getting way too loud. And I know they get in. Like, what tension are you building? Like, other than like, they're building towards the rage being unleashed. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But you could do that in 90 seconds. You don't need to go 3 to 4 minutes of it.
Oh, I have a
maybe it was 90 seconds and it just felt like 3 to 4 minutes. I don't know. Because again, like my ears were hurting at that point.
Oh, I actually feel bad. This is the first time I've been in a movie and looked at my watch a few times. And at one point I glanced down at my watch and it had only been 33 minutes. And I was like, oh God, this isn't good. And then I glanced down again. It was like it was like an hour 40. I'm like, oh, I got another hour of this. Because there are just moments where I think I joked about at the beginning, but the story of Odysseus, yes, I understand the story. It's the oral tales, the written down. And I think it's like across like 15 books, they call them, because, the way it's collected, it's a long ass story. I was getting tired of, we land someplace and then we have to run back to the ship, and then we land someplace, and every time we land and we move back, we lose a few more people, and then we land and lose a few more people. I was getting just tired of that. But the one that I loved the most is, after seemingly reaffirming that they are bad people by not even attempting to talk to the Cyclops, and Odysseus being just a dick and getting like a dozen men killed because he has to take one parting shot for no reason at the Cyclops as they're leaving. And then they're not even given any passage on the giant cannibals island. I love
Is that who they were
Odysseus.
supposed to be? They were supposed to be the let me look it up real quick.
Yeah,
The
that's what they're supposed to be.
Lestrygonians?
Yeah.
Okay, because like that just seemed really out of place for everything. Like, to me, it was just really weird.
I think that's what they were supposed to be. It didn't do anything for me. And I especially didn't like the design of, like, apparently you're 6 years old and you're 6 feet tall and you're still wearing armor, and then everyone else is maybe 8 feet tall, because they weren't that much bigger than them. But that's not important. When they got to Cersei's island and I realized who they were with, I loved that entire bit. I love the
I hated that
reinterpretation of
entire
Cersei's
bit.
island.
Like, not because it
I
was bad,
love
but because
how
like
they
that's
were
like
how they were moving things around, how they integrated the story just a little bit differently, and that is some of the most egregious body horror that I've ever seen
that's
in a
exactly
film.
why I hated it. No, thank you. When they started like not being able to stop eating, and she started like pulling out their hair and messing with their faces,
Just slurping.
No, I was like, no, I don't know. This isn't why I'm here. And like I was just hoping it was like they would cut away while they're stuck, and then the next thing we know, she has a whole bunch of pigs, and I was like, okay, I can deal with that. But like she's like morphing them and like pulling on their jaws and I'm just
Shoving
like,
her hands down their
no, stop.
throats.
Yeah, just no, thank you. Don't like it. That's gonna haunt me for a while. Like I don't like body horror. That's not something I'm here for. And
Oh,
I'm
I
pretty
don't.
sure that sequence is why it's rated R.
Oh, I don't particularly like it either. I was like, oh, I'm like, okay, you've done one person. Do you need to do like 6 of them in a row? I didn't particularly like that, but I
Well,
really,
you got to hit that 2 hour and 45-minute runtime somehow.
but I really actually did like that. That's when Odysseus was like, because it showed the intelligence of Odysseus. They, as we've been told a few times, and was shown by him building the Trojan horse, that he's the most clever of us, and that he was able to figure out, wait a second, something's up with Cersei here. Something's up here. And then he figured out the relationship between Cersei and the bird, being her sister, which I do love that. I absolutely love that. Why do you keep it this way? We get along better this way.
An actual joke
And
in a
then-
Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah. Oh, and then she turns him back, and I loved as she's turning them back, she's telling them, you can go back into your disguises now, because she truly believes this is what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I hated the more body horror for turning them back. Oh, but I liked that. And I like that then he was just like, take no meat, allow us to have food, and we leave you in peace. I like that. I like that was his turning point. He realized, like, I had become the monster I wasn't supposed to be. So, like, I think it's a good film. It didn't resonate with me as much as I wished it would have, and I didn't particularly like the cinematography, despite it being gorgeous. I just have you seen the videos that are showing like Moana, the cartoon, versus Moana, the rock movie?
I have not.
Like the side by side. Okay, so there's some TikToks, Instagram clips and stuff like that where they show the differences between them, and the cartoon's just vibrant and beautiful. And then there's this drabness because either they're filming in the volume or maybe they weren't outside as much, but there's this drabness that you shouldn't be getting from being in the Polynesian islands. Because if a lot of cinematography, because as you said, they're filming digital, everything just becomes very flat, very matte. But when you have something beautiful, when you have film that gets you these rich, deep textures, I would have liked a little bit more of that in the film. it's one of the reasons why anytime Titanic gets re-released, I go see it, because you get the beauty of everything that Rose wears throughout the film. You see the upper crust society of like all the textures in their outfits. I'm being a little hard on the film. I'm not being hard on the film because I didn't particularly like it. There's just little poignant things that I wish would have drawn me in more.
I can understand that. Yeah, especially again because the filmmaking again is kind of masterful, but the design and the flattening of the color palette, yeah, it definitely is not there. Like the most vibrant we see anything is the moments where Odysseus is with Calypso, and like you can just see the pop of Charlize Theron's blue eyes. Same with Matt Damon's. Like that's like the most vibrant things on screen in the moment is their eyes, and it's like, oh god, I can get lost in those. But
Mhm.
for the rest of the movie, it is just like browns and grays and the like rough seas. What was the octopus thing that attacked them after the whirlpool?
I don't remember what that is. They mentioned it. It's some kind of rock creature that lives up there, and they were warned. If you go through there, you will lose 6. And he was like, "Nope," but nope, they lose 6. I don't remember what it's called. Um, but I did like. Oh, I was gonna ask you. Oh, the
Oh,
Scala,
it's
Scala.
Charybdis. It's
Is it
Charybdis.
Charybdis? Are you sure it's
I
Charybdis?
think
No,
that's what.
Charybdis is. I think that's the giant. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, right. You're right. You're right. It is Charybdis. No, Charybdis is the whirlpools. Scalia is the creature that lives in the mountains.
Yes, the Silo, the multi-head sea monster. Silo waits beside a narrow passage and uses six heads to seize 6 sailors from Odysseus's vessel. The
Yeah.
horror comes from the calculations surrounding her. Circe warns him that sailing closer to the Scylla will cost several lives while approaching the Charybdis could destroy anyone. So Charybdis is the whirlpool.
A few more things I want to touch on before we depart for this our journey to the kitchen for food. John Leguizamo, I actually super liked him. I actually really liked him in this film. I thought he did well. I was kind of impressed by his portrayal of as a younger man and then an older man. I actually super dug him in this film. It's for me, he's an actor who I can kind of take or leave depending on the role, but I really liked him in as the faithful, now mostly blind servant of Odysseus, still very loyal to the family and taking care of his poor dogs. What they call him, the swineherder. His name is actually Eminus.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Like the Greek names are all so bad, but I liked him in this role as well. I think it's just when he's like, yeah, I'm here for a paycheck, because like he was in John Wick, and I mean it's not probably a huge stretch of a role for him in the original John Wick. He's very good in that as well, and I think he has kind of found his niche as this known actor who will show up for a quick payday, but also put in the work to put in a performance as well.
Robert Battenbat, absolutely fantastic as a
Is he
prick.
handsome? I mean, maybe it's just the way they did him up in this film. What do people see in him? Like, what is this?
So I was impressed by whoever they found to be his younger self. He has the jawline and cheekbones.
Yeah.
That younger version of him. I get it. Um, in terms of like handsome film, like I get that objectively, Rob Pattinson is attractive, but in this role, no, they just like I swear they told him was like, listen, we need you to lose about 4 pounds from your face so you get these super sharp cheekbones and just be much of a hangry prick as you can because we're not feeding you, which worked. I did not think he was attractive, but I think he was an absolute prick. I know some people criticize like the dialogue for being modern dialogue, which I gave up after like a few minutes. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. But the way he just swarmingly, he's like, you're just waiting for a daddy. You never. I was like, oh, good on you. And then at the end, where he's just hiding behind pillars, like, get the swords, get the swords. Oh, the spears. Yo, you shows against him. I was like, oh, this is great. I love you. You're a prick. You're an absolute worthless, can't lift a sword to save your goddamn life piece of shit. And I appreciated that. In fact, I was like, the movie should have been about a minute longer because I would have loved just a long, slow push that sword slowly into his heart.
Yeah, him playing Antinous was very good, and then like the way he like slimes his way into being able to have a one-on-one with Penelope, with him having an affair with the servant girl played by Mia Goth, which like also random Elliot Page, like very very excited to see him in a role as older Sinon. They got a younger actor to play Sinon at the start of the war, and then Elliot Page plays Sinon at the end, and they have a bigger role in the afterlife scene. Very good stuff. When Matt Damon's Odysseus puts what did they call it? The lottery, the ticket, the little twig,
the lottery.
thing.
They're drawing
Yeah,
lots, literally.
the lot. Thank you. When he shoves the lot in Antinous' mouth, Robert Pattinson's mouth at the end, like, oh, that was so gratifying.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I am not dissing anything. I have no idea why the hell
You're not
Athena-
Odyssey in anything.
Haha. I have no idea why Athena was played by Zendaya, because that is a thankless role that could have gone to anyone. I understand they desecrated Athena's temple, and the person that they killed may have been a persona of Athena, which is why she's haunting Odysseus until he accepts what he did. But that's a nothing role. That's like 35 seconds of screen time and 4 lines. And I'm like, why is Zendaya in this role?
Because she wanted to work with Christopher Nolan. Like, he likes to reuse people, and so she's doing this little thankless role, and maybe she'll come back in his next film in a bigger role. That's kind of how he works. Like I thought the same thing with Logan Marshall Green as the like cowardly servant snitch that was working inside the palace in Ithaca for Robert Pattinson. The joke in my head is, oh, Tom Hardy didn't want the role, so Christopher Nolan went, okay, Logan Marshall Green, you got it. Because again,
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan likes to reuse actors, but like Tom Hardy's not coming back to be that guy. But you actually just reminded me with the Athena chat. I could kind of tell in that there's a version of this film where Christopher Nolan kind of wanted to just completely remove the gods from the equation, and just kind of like, was it hallucinations while they were adrift at sea? Was it this? Was it that? Like, he wanted to add that Christopher Nolan realism to something, but I think someone, maybe his brother, maybe someone he works with, like David Goyer, was like, no, you need to commit to the gods, because that's kind of the point of the film, of the story, is that the gods are vengeful. Odysseus broke Zeus's law, and he's suffering the repercussions for his actions. He's not really suffering repercussions if there's not a god, if there's not gods. It is really strange when they go up to the Cannibal Island, when they go up to the Cyclops, and just like out of nowhere there's just these monsters attacking them. And then you cut back to Telemachus and Penelope and the drama in Ithaca, and it's just like, it's just the world. And I think there is a version of this film somewhere in Christopher Nolan's mind, at the very least, where again he's just like, nah, there are no gods. Like, it's just all happenstance, and they keep contributing it to the gods. But like, someone chimed in and was like, no, Chris, you need to put the supernatural stuff in there, because otherwise none of it makes sense, and we need to act like it's real, because again, he's not learning anything if it's not real. He's just hallucinating and decides to change because of hallucinations.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because it's one thing to have monsters in a film. Everybody expects that. You have your tales of the Kraken and other stuff. But when you put gods in, that actually that's like another layer of other realism that is or high strangeness that makes things bizarre. Like Circe, she's a witch. Yeah, she's a witch. She can do some strange things. You've heard the witches are terrible. Okay, cool. Calypso, she's a sea nymph. That's fine. The sirens, the sirens are just beautiful people luring you to the rocks and the shoals, which as you said, that sequence was great. But when you actually layer in gods, that does make things very bizarre. And so I can see that the original draft probably was just like Athena was just this illusion. the trip
Yeah,
to
she's like a
ice.
PTSD demon or something, like of this young girl that he got killed because he was the guy who created the plan to sack Troy.
Yeah, which I think they should have spent a little more time on that. Like to me, because the flashback we get of why he's seen Athena, which I don't think he even calls her that, is just they're in Athena's temple. Somebody has
He
beheaded the
does call her
statue.
Athena once. Like I think it's
Oh, he does?
after.
Okay.
I think it's after he talks to Calypso for the first time. Like Athena shows up on the beach with him, and Calypso shows up, and she's like, "Talking to yourself again?" He's like, "No, I'm talking to Athena."
Oh, okay. I missed that. But it really is this quick flashback where he's just looking around at the rage and horrors of the people just being massacred in the streets. And they drag Zendaya up, make her kneel, and he just basically sees her. I think he maybe raises a hand to say something, and they just behead her. Uh, and that's just really it. So I can see that there was probably a draft that she was just somebody haunting him. This young innocent person. Everything else is just faceless. People are being stabbed in houses, dragged out of places, but now he sees the desecration of a temple.
Yeah, and then
Um,
you actually just reminded me there is a payoff. There is one
mhm.
thing that is actually like paid off besides Tom Holland doing his quick little I'm gonna get stabbed in the belly and then do a spin move and slice a guy's throat. Because they do make a point to say a few times, like the reason that beggars are allowed into the palace in Ithaca is because they might be gods in disguise. And that's what happened with Athena is that which again, like to the Christopher Nolan thing of like the Inception ending, like is it still a dream? Like what's happening there? If the version of the film that I think Christopher Nolan probably wanted to do is gods are in disguise and are we reaping the repercussions of our actions because of them disguising themselves, like that's where I think the Zendaya like PTSD demon theme probably plays a bigger role, and having Athena continue to like just talk with him and him talking back to her is when you play this more as a real world idea instead of like gods and men and repercussions of our actions and the vengeance of the gods. So like I think that's where that idea came from and stemmed from
Mhm.
because again, like you said, the the Athena role is largely thankless in this version where she's just like, "Hey, what you doing? How we
Yep.
feeling?" And like there's nothing to any of the dialogue other than it allows him an opportunity to exposit a little bit more in certain situations.
I would have liked to. I'm very curious now. For see a rough draft of this because I mean maybe he goes back. Maybe he actually makes the full Iliad. In which case we have Athena on the battlefield. We have Achilles. We have like a Hercules. We have the gods actively fucking around with Paris and the others. That could be interesting because Troy, as fun as Troy is, did not give us that, but Nolan could. Where we have 10-foot tall gods actually fighting it out on the battlefield over whether or not Troy should be sacked. And then you mix in a little bit of that with float with gliding everywhere Agamemnon, and you got like a nice, really nice, bizarre film.
I think pre-Batman Nolan would have tackled that really well, but I think post-Batman, I mean, what movie broke Nolan to this point? I don't was it
Dark Knight Rises.
Interstellar?
No, I actually think it's Dark Knight.
I think Dark
Rises.
Knight Rises. I still don't believe that was actually him. I think that he just like let his brother David Goyer direct, and he was just
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, this is my project, whatever." Because like, there's so much shit in there that makes no sense. Like Christopher Nolan usually doesn't do that, but I think everyone just kind of like phoned it in for that one.
I I I really feel like they had like the perfect script for that, but Heath Ledger died, and they just kind of like went like, well, we're already filming Interstellar. We'll come circle back in 2 years. The Nolans Goyer sat down like, what do we got? And they're like, well, let's just remove every reference we can to the Joker and film what's next. Because oh crap, what was her name? The Marion
Marion
Cotillard.
Cotillard, yeah.
Yeah, Miranda Tate. They asked her about that recently, like, what is with that really bad death take? And she's like, oh my God. She's like, no, she's like, Chris was so nice. He was like, hey, listen, I know you're pregnant right now. We don't want to leave you in this awkward position for long. So let's just do like one or two. And she's like, it was my rehearsal take. I didn't realize they were filming.
There's I just showed this to a bunch of people at work. We watched the Dark Knight Rises pitch meeting, and when they get to that point where they talk about Talia doing her death scene, um, screenwriter guy is like, "Yeah, and if the actress playing Talia can act like she forgot she was supposed to die and then abruptly just dies, that would be great." And
Oh,
it encapsulates that moment so perfectly.
Yep. Oh, that's great. I don't know. I'm curious to
So
see what Nolan brings next, though. I mean,
yeah, he said his next film's
yeah.
not going to be for like at least 3 more years because of the toll that this one took, which like I'm okay with that. Like
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan movies event movies, since no one else wants to make event movies anymore.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing about it is like whether or not he is a director that I want to love, but I always just come across a little feeling cool. It doesn't mean that they're bad movies. Like I said, objectively, I think it's a well-made movie, and I will probably watch it again because there are aspects of it that I absolutely loved. It just his touch is a little, to me, the touch is a little off.
Yeah, I
So yeah,
can't
bring it in 3
disagree.
years. Let's see what you do.
Yeah. So talking smack rating, I would say it's still a must see. Like I know we've been talking a lot about some of the flaws or like differences of the cinematography and everything, but like I think it's a well-made movie. It's a sword and sandals epic that you don't get a lot of anymore. And again, I think you can walk away with something out of it. So I say it's a must see.
Yeah, no, I think it's a must see. I'm sure there are people who are gonna love it more than I will, and people who just won't like it. But you can't deny that they are really working and putting artistry on the camera. Oh yeah, and Matt
All
Damon, yeah, he deserves a nomination, if not a win for this, because I really bought his journey. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean he got himself back down to like high school weight in his early 50s. So like
Mm-hmm.
you can't disregard the stuff behind the scenes that he did too. But if you want to talk about the Odyssey with us, you can find us on the Discord. Alex, let everyone know about the Discord.
Discord, tsnackpod@gmail.com. There's a link down below. That's where we post news, thoughts, opinions, everything from movies, animation, sports, all that crap. So go ahead and give a click there. Also, our website, tsmackpod, is about 80% done. We're going to start posting thoughts, blogs, articles on that as well. Currently, we have up my movie of an article about about my movie of the year, Obsession. Fantastic film. You should definitely see it, especially now it's Peacock. As I'm being reminded every day watching the tour, like 10 times in an hour, that Peacock has Obsession now.
Oh, I'll be watching that then. So yeah, please click the link in the episode description, join the Discord, join the discussion, and you can follow us at Talking Smack Pod on social media platforms, Letterboxd, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube. You can email us your thoughts, questions, movie reviews, suggestions on things we should cover. Email us at tsmackpod@gmail.com.
Definitely.
Thank you to
agree.
Leo Allen for our musical themes, Beppo for our original avatars, Retro AL Studios for our Ricky avatar. Please like, subscribe, rate, review on your podcatcher of choice. And Alex, there's a TV show out there that people should be watching. What is that TV show?
I don't know. Paramount canceled all the Star Trek stuff. The Pit?
Paramount will cancel that too.
Oh, no. Who loves T-Smack?
I love T-Snack. Is it true? Mm-hmm. I do, ooh.